Hi, Robbie Susan Chandler here from RobbieSusansCardsandCrafts.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator who lives in Quincy, Florida, which is right side of Tallahassee, Florida. Today I'm going to share with you a great fold called the Flying Seagull fold, and I've decided to use the Night Divine dies to make this a beautiful nativity scene fold. I thought the Flying Seagull fold, which I'll show you how it spreads out in a minute, would be perfect for this. But this is the card when it's folded up to go into the envelope. But when you're the person you send it to opens it up and spreads it out, this is what they'll see. Isn't that beautiful? And I put a picture at the beginning to show you it standing up, because with the camera, when I stand it up, you don't really get to see what it looks like, but you can see the flying seagull look. But this is the way it looks when it opens up, and I think it's just beautiful. So when you close it up, make sure when you put your little animals and all down that you put them over far enough that they're not seen. I think it looks better if they're not. So closed up and opened out. So let's take a look at how we put this card together. And as I say, we're going to uncomplicate what looks like a complicated card. So let's move a few things out of the way. All right, let's start with the Flying Seagull base part. You need 2 sheets of Night of Navy that are 4 1/4 by 8 1/4, and they're scored at 2 1/4, 4 inches, and 6 1/4. And like I said, you do 2 of those just like that. And I have a white piece here that shows you a little bit better. 2 1/4, 1 3/4, 2 1/4, and 2 is the sections. But when you do your scoring, you score at 2 1/4, 4 inches, and 6 1/4, and I'll show you what those other measurements mean. So these are the wings, the flying seagull wings. And then we have, that goes on top of that, we have a Night of Navy square that's 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. And then I have a piece of this holographic silver that's 4 by 4, which I embossed with Stars at Night embossing folder, and it looks like this. Now I made sure when I put it in my embossing folder that I wanted my star down low, so when I put my manger scene there, you see how the star is right in the back behind Mary and Joseph. So the placement of your star to me was kind of important. So I embossed this piece and then just adhered it to the Night of Navy piece, which you get this right here when you do that. And then my side pieces are from the paper pack called Oh Holy Night. And it's got all kinds of different designs and colors, and I used some of the ones with the stars on it for my side panels, and I'll show you those. These were my 2, let me lay this out. These are the 2 that I used on the outside panels. They have a lot of little white stars on it, and these are actually 4 inches by 2 inches. And then I also embossed them with the Stars at Night. I guess you can see here. I thought that gave it a little bit more interesting look. And then these next pieces are another sheet in that pack, and they're 4 by 1 1/2 inches, and you need 2 of those, and they'll go right here. And then on the back, I have these 2 white panels, and they're 4 by 2 inches to stamp your sentiments or greetings. This one I did Peace on Earth, Merry Christmas. This one over here, I did like this so I could sign my name over here, and then I put a little gem that I had right in the middle of that little starburst. And I'll show you this one real quick. This one I did not emboss these outside panels. They're just plain. So you can decide, you know, if you want to emboss those sheets or just leave them plain like I did on this one. Alright, let's see what other pieces we need. I think that, you will need some white paper or white glimmer paper. I chose to use some glimmer paper that I had, or you could just use plain white to cut your pieces for the nativity scene. And those are all from the Night Divine dies. And I used all of them except these 2 cloud pieces. I did not use those. Let's see, here's my manger, Mary and Joseph, the camel, sheep, donkey, and cow. The whole crew's here. Okay, we'll get to them in a minute, so let's just set them aside. So let's start with how we put this flying seagull together. All right, like I said, here are my two pieces, 4 1/4 by 8 1/4. Now, when you score them, you're going to end up with sections that look like this. And this first section where you scored it 2 1/4 is actually 2 1/4. So that's my outside, and then this next one is just 1 3/4, and then this one's 2 1/4. But this inside one is the important one. It's just 2 inches, and you want to lay your cardstock down so that the 2-inch ones are meeting each other. So that's important. Make sure you lay it down so the 2-inch sections are meeting each other like that. Okay, and once you do that, you're going to fold this section back, and make sure you get it right on the score line, because you really don't want this to not be even. And then you score this one back. Now once you score this back, you're going to butt them right up next to each other, and we found what was easier is just take a piece of tape, put these right next to each other, get them even, and then put your tape down right down the middle to hold them down, just like that. Okay, so that's the first step. Now I've already put these two pieces together. So what you do, you put your glue all over these sections. You want to cover it pretty good because you want this piece to be sturdy. And then you just take this piece, lay it down right in the middle, and look for your score lines here on the side. You've got 2 score lines there on each side, and you want to center this between those score lines. All right, just hold that down for a minute. Perfect. And then this is the secret to folding this. So here is our first fold line where we butted them up. For the next one, you're going to fold in. You fold it in, and then you fold it back, so it lays like this. Let me do it again on this side. You fold it in, then you fold it back. Let's do a little burnishing on that. There we go. And then you're going to fold this one back. And then you get this look. So that's the secret. You have to fold it towards and then back out to get this seagull look. So when you have it on there, in, back, and your W will be out here, or your M, whichever way you want to look at it. So in and back, and then you put this piece on it. Alright, next we're just going to put these pieces on, and one goes out here, and the smaller ones go right here. And of course, you know me, I already have one where I've glued them down, and here it is. And I've also put my pieces on the back. I just need to put a gem in the middle here when I finish. Alright, so now let's work with our nativity scene. That's all we have left. So I like to start with the manger, and I put quite a few dimensionals on here, and I use my white ones. If I were putting this on a dark background and maybe had a dark manger scene like I did one card already, I would use my black dimensionals. Alright, so we want to put this right in the middle of the star. Don't stick down yet. So let's center that right there. And I'm going to leave it a little bit from the bottom, not go all the way down. There we go. Alright, so there's our manger, or stable. And now let's put Mary and Joseph down, and the shepherd and whoever else came to visit, the wise men. And I like to put a lot of dimensionals on this to make sure it's stays down and it's sturdy and the heads don't start flopping around. Okay, there we have them. Now over here on our side, let's do the camel first because he's a little bit trickier. I cut a dimensional to fit behind his head right there because I found that if if you didn't do it, his head flopped around. You also have to adhere him a little bit over past the fold line, or like right on it, like right there. Because if you don't, he shows. Now let's see if we got him far enough over. When you fold it in, yep. See, I barely got him in there, see? But I found out if you don't adhere his head down, mine started bending. See on this one how it bent a little bit? So you want to really stick that down so his head doesn't get all out of shape. All right, let's start with our little donkey here on the other side. And these guys I just adhered right close up to the paper. And then I put these little standing sheep. And he's not standing on the donkey's back, he's just standing back behind him. And then I put down the cow. The cow's just kind of farther out in the barn or out in the field. And let's see if I got them hidden. Fold it up. Yep, and they're hidden. So there we go. There's our whole manger scene. And when you fold it up, everything's hidden except for the manger scene itself. And then it spreads out to a beautiful scene. Can't you just see this sitting on somebody's mantle? You know what? Let's add a little bit of Wink Stella here to some of these stars, just to give them a little lift here, as they are shining. Wink Stella, you never can go wrong with your Wink Stella. Just whatever you want to shimmer up. And the nice thing about it's not like glitter. It doesn't flake off. It dries instantly. It is really a marvelous tool. It can really add a good look to everything. Okay, there we go. All right, I hope you like this card, and you saw really how easy it was. I also had another card with my saran wrap technique with this same fold, if you want to go back and check it out and see how I made it. So just the design's a little bit different. The layout's the same fold here. So here we go. I hope you like my card here, and I hope you like my video. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. And if you don't have a demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. And to subscribe, you can just click on that little picture of my head right there, and I think it brings up a little automatic subscribe thing you can click on. And I have links below to the products I use and also to a free tutorial. So until next time, happy crafting.